Hello, everyone. This is the impromptu live. I know nobody knew about it, but here I am in my usual appearing, disappearing way. So I'm going to give you guys maybe a couple of minutes. Somebody maybe will join in, but if not, I hope some of you at least will rewatch it because I am going to share some information about the moon card. As you know, I'm a little bit crazy about perimenopause, menopause, because these subjects are fully alive for me, right? I'm turning 50 this year, when on 29th of November, very, very soon. And I'm aging. And if you have been following me for years, because I've been here in years, you guys probably watch me getting older on YouTube. That's how it is. Please, if anybody's here, can you guys let me know if you can hear me? And if you can see me, that would be wonderful. If anybody just like gave me a thumb up. I have some stuff prepared. I have some moon cards and some sun cards, and I want to just chat about the feminine way. Oh, hey, Rachel. That's nice. Thank you. It's that, the first live in a while, and you know how it goes. If you feel a little bit, you feel still a little bit unprepared whenever you come live, even if you've been doing it for years. It's an interesting experience being live on YouTube, making yourself available. But today, how are you, Rachel, by the way? And where are you? Are you in the States? Hi, Becky. Nice to see you. Let me know, guys, where are you from? I'm delivering the live to you from Poland right now, from my little, countryside house where I live with my husband and my little dog. I'm a dog mama right now. And as I mentioned in the beginning, you probably didn't hear it. Oh, you guys in the US, you Becky in the US as well. So I want to talk about menopause, perimenopause. I'm turning 50 in a couple of weeks. Are you in the UK, Rach? Cool. Yeah, so, guys, there's a lot of stuff happening under the surface for me. And I was laughing before anybody joined in that, if you've been following me on YouTube, you can see me aging on YouTube. Because I started recording around 2016, 15, maybe. I can't even remember. But it's been a long time, okay? And yeah, I would love to share today something about the moon card from the menopausal perspective. So I took the couple of cards. This is, of course, Rider-Waite-Smith, and also the progression from the moon into the sun. So we will be having a little chit chat about the moon, mostly from the perimenopausal perspective, from feminine perspective, not necessarily a perspective of, a scary illusionary card that can come up in a tarot reading and you kind of feeling a bit like what's going on in my life. But yeah, from the perspective of perimenopause and menopause. I don't know if any of you, I don't know, Rachel and Becky, if you guys following this or not, but, and how old are you? I'm not going to ask you, you don't have to put how old you are, but I really want to focus on women going through their perimenopause and their menopause, and on people who want to learn tarot as well. But there is, I noticed how much the relationship with certain cards changes for me, why I am going through those perimenopausal shifts. Oh, Becky is 68, so you, Becky, passed your menopause. I'm doing this Crone's Compass group, and I have Bevy from Wales, and Bev is 66. And I feel like Bev and another friend who joined the group, they're doing us such big service because, they're sharing what we are going through, they already went through, but obviously every woman goes through different things like that, right? The process is a little bit different. Rachel is 40. Yeah. So in the group, it's so cool because we do have two postmenopausal women and we have some perimenopausal women. I'm still having my periods, so this is quite, um, like kind of, you would say, like I'm still having my period, so I should be like having my periods, that's it. But I have been feeling my perimenopausal symptoms from probably around 45, I would say. Yeah, Becky says 40 is a good age, Rachel. So, I agree, 40 is a good age. But to be honest, I think 50 is a great age too. And I am one of those people, I don't know how about you guys, but I'm one of those people, I never want to get younger, at least not yet. I might maybe want to do it when I'm 80 or something. But right now, I'm happy. I'm 50 or I'm turning 50, and I'm happy with aging. And I want to share something about the moon, because as I mentioned, during this Crone's Compass group, we talk about different tarot cards from this perimenopausal perspective. And the moon card is a very fascinating card. Let me know, girls, if you, as women, feeling like kind of close to the moon card, or is it a bit like scary card? How do you feel about her? Because most of the time, whenever I look at the moon card, I'm always going like, it's so kind of weird, it's mysterious, it's strange. It's like the symbolism of it. Hi, Kristen, nice to see you. Are you turning 48 in a couple of weeks? Cool. You are afraid of aging. Yeah, it's like, I can't say that like I'm not afraid. I'm also a little bit afraid, but I'm kind of a little bit excited too. I don't know. I always had this, I was always drawn to older women. I just find them like totally empowered and interesting. And especially the women that I met in my life, I met different women. Obviously, some older women are not maybe so inspiring, but I've met a lot of women who are like so amazing, and that kind of gives me hope and like a guiding light. And I want to be that ancestor as well. I want to be that for somebody who's younger. So yeah, like working with tarot can be really empowering. And I think, Kristen Louise, like I think community is what we need. We need to connect with other women who are going through similar kind of processes, because it is a process. And I feel that's maybe like how it feels. This is us, the women, like stepping out, like leaving the blood behind. And then we have to venture in between this like wild world behind the mountains into like a world that we don't know really. And where do we arrive? Dum, 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 dum. Well, we arrive in the sun, right? Because in the tarot system, the sun, the moon kind of leads to the sun. So it's quite a fascinating journey from darkness into illumination. And I wanted to say something about the moon. First of all, let me read you something, okay? This is from the Margaret Peterson Tarot. So where is this card? Let me show you. This one looks actually quite amazing. And I liked what Kristen Louise wrote about, like, being a bit scared of aging. Because I think there is this old wise woman watching us. There's like one side of it. And then there's the other side where we feel a bit like bound or, icky about this whole thing, and being in a society that doesn't really appreciate aging or older women, kind of feeling the loss and grief and sadness of like our body changing and all of this, and this murkiness. There's like this process. It's not a process of light, okay? This is a process of darkness. This is a process that's like happening inside of us. And many women have to still go to work. Many women still are mothers. They have to look after people, etc., etc. There's so much stuff that goes under the surface for women who go through perimenopause and menopause. I'm in the lucky position that I have no children. So maybe it's lucky, maybe it's not. I don't know, because sometimes I feel like I have too much time to think about this shit. And I feel like every fucking symptom and, everything is just like, wow. But anyway, this moon, I really love it. This is from Margaret Peterson Tarot, and I trimmed this copy. And I love this, the contrasting position of like kind of this wise face, peaceful, just like waiting there. Like we do have the support. And hi, Kels. I will get some sleep, but right now here it's only 7 p.m., so it's not too bad. But yeah, could you guys sleep? Can you sleep right now? Because not only am I menopausal, but there's so much solar flares going on. There is so much just intensity in the skies and the retrogrades. Everything is just like shifting. I don't know if this is why I couldn't sleep, but I totally couldn't sleep tonight. Like I went to sleep at 4:30, looking at tarot decks and I don't know, just watching something. For me, walking under the moonlight at night means full exposure in a situation where anything can lurk in the darkness, radical vulnerability. Exactly. And I feel like this is a very, very vulnerable process. And sometimes we are okay to show it and share it. And sometimes we kind of a little bit, withdrawn. It's very like moody, I think. It goes with ebbs and flows. So listen to what, oh, you've been up since 3 a.m. Yeah. I was up then too. So listen to the moon of what Margaret Peterson writes. This is just like a short kind of poem. I don't know if you know this deck, but probably most of you do. So this moon card, she writes, a silent being groping its way from the ocean of unconsciousness to the mountains of knowing. Lady Moon, your light gently shows disentanglement, dissolution, liquefaction of illusory phenomena. The small mind, guardian of casual laws, steps back. The small mind, guardian of casual laws, steps back. Other realities expand. What once was suppressed as harmful and considered to be taboo is now allowed to come to the surface. Salty tears are transmuting into precious alchemical essence. I love this. I love this. This little booklet, it's so beautiful. So imagine us going through this salty tears transforming into the alchemical essence. And just to be a little bit more specific, right? When we look at the moon card from the perspective of this menopausal transition, and something that maybe a lot of women feel when we go through our, periodic cycles, etc. But before the menopause, our rhythm is synced to the moon cycle, right? And we reflect a lot of what's happening outside. And during the menopause, this cycle dissolves for us. So we're kind of feeling a little bit like lost, and we're feeling like things are uncertain. We don't know who we are. We don't know where we're fucking going, what's going on. So there is a lot of old emotional stuff that is ready to be let go of. And we can really venture. It's not an easy path, right? When you look at the moon. And often I can see the moon and like kind of confront it and also take it as a like magical working card with like hormonal tides, feeling scared, feeling confused, feeling anxious. And whenever we have any of those perimenopausal symptoms, and you girls can confirm if you can resonate with this, we experience those emotions quite intensely at times. And then they go, they still kind of cycle. It's not all the time that we feel anxious. It's not all the time that we have mood swings. But they come and they seem a little bit, at least from my perspective, a little bit more extreme and take me often by surprise, because I think they are connected to hormones as well. And it's interesting that hormones are connected to justice card, because justice in astrology is ruled by Libra, and Libra in medical astrology rules hormonal balance. So very often we kind of lose this balance, and when we lose this balance, it takes us on weird trips, right? So, what's wonderful about this is that somehow, we empower our night vision. We're reconnecting and moving from this kind of like bound, scary, unsure girls into these wise, eyes wide open women. And we're really developing like this night vision. We shared, these old identities. We shared external shoots. We shared external limitations, and we kind of develop like steadier, quieter voice. And I feel this. Let me know if you go through this, or if you have any type of symptoms in your perimenopause, or if you went through the menopausal transition. Have you had a moment of like going, thank you, I feel like me, it's just like, it's such an interesting feeling, those moments of like really arriving within yourself. And I think the moon card can represent the transition to get there in some way, and I wrote myself some like notes here, but the moon card in general can speak often about cycles, right? Initiation, mystery, confusion. Whenever we pull it, it takes us into liminal spaces. And I love just the simplicity of this image, but also any type of image, Thoth tarot, or if we have the Marseille tarot, this is tarot noir. Oh, and I'm curious if you guys can share. Becky, you are a retired nurse. You hated to work full moon nights. Yeah, crazy. I know, it's true. Full moon really, like the tidal waves and those universal cycles really get to us, and we respond. That's why I think we respond to solar flares, we respond to moon cycles. We're part of this universal clock, So it's really fascinating. And with the moon, we often have no clarity. There's often this sense of we kind of somewhere in the middle of nowhere, between some barking dogs, howling wolves, strange world. And whenever we venture there, menopause or not, if you even before or after, we still have situations in life or feelings when we venture into those weird spaces or weird phases in our lives, when we just feel suddenly uncertain of who are we, and we're changing. And I think the moon, with its cyclical motion, is a perfect card for change, as much as the wheel of fortune, etc. 3 a.m. hero, you can sleep. I accepted the punctuated nature of sleep-awake cycle. Yeah, exactly. The rigid, exactly. I agree. Self-acceptance. I feel like I'm knowing myself much more. Exactly. And I feel like the moon card can become this like intuition card. With a lot of women during the crone compass in our group, we were discussing what we're getting also from going through menopause. And most of women said like this deeper connection to our intuition, deeper connection to our inner voice, deeper trusting this. And I think we have that deeper trust, and we have this deeper acceptance and knowing, like Rachel said, because we go through this difficult journey, and we trust. Like, it's a journey of trust. It's an organic journey. Like, we all go through it, right? Some people, like in our group in the Crohn's Compass, we also have a person who like, let's say, had surgical menopause. So sometimes women go through, removal of their bits and pieces because of illnesses, etc., etc. But we still go through our internal moon cycle nevertheless. And I think psyche is a powerful. Psyche has its cycles as well. So nevertheless, like, women feel these changes. If they go through regular menopause, surgical menopause, have menopause, don't have menopause, it's a very interesting kind of experience. And moon shows the pool of tides, emotional, psychic, bodily, right, hormonal. And there is no clarity just yet, because we only arriving in the clarity when we go through the moon. So this is like really, really important. And I think we can connect this moon card and the menopausal initiation for like with Inanna descent, you know, when we go down or go through the darkness, the night. I love this Dream Dust Shamanic Tarot. It has such a like feel for the moon, you know, the foggy night, no clarity, like you have to kind of like, you know, go through this fog to get to then the brightness, the vitality, and kind of illumination of the sun. But the moon gives you the softness. It like kind of cocoons you. It allows you to, you know, connect deeper to quiet places, to the quiet voice, to the wise one. And I think it's like a beautiful, beautiful card. And another image would be the from Jessica Zinchuk story. What is this? The story Medicine Tarot, the one with the animals, Animal Woman, second edition. And here the moon is story. And I like the connection with to the owl and to this like we rewriting our stories, we're shifting our stories, we picking new archetypes, we're releasing old identities, we're letting go of certain, you know, weaknesses as well. Like we allow the mystery. We allow the mystery that not like, and I love it, like not everything has to be illuminated, right? And I think that's what women learn when we go through menopause, that there is mystery, there is this waiting, there is this presence of us for us. And very often we, you know, we kind of, as the moon, we reflect for others, the light for others, especially when you have children. We always like reflecting the light back for other people. And when we go through menopause, moon can be the archetype of the changing woman, of the changing story, of rewriting of narratives, the witch, the seer, the one who sees. And, you know, when the moon is like descent and going through the process, the sun is reemergence then and rebirth. And I have a couple of pointers still that I made some notes about the moon and the sun, because I love this progression of us going from the moon into the sun, right? The moon is number 18, the sun is 19. And again, like if you guys, any of you or whoever watches later on, if anyone is interested, I'm opening a new group of the Crone's Compass in January next year. There's an early bird price. There's a couple of scholarships. You can just, you know, write me if money is an issue, but I really want to talk about it. I'm not done talking about menopause. I love it. It's interesting. I love doing it with tarot because mostly, like, I think it's a common language. It's such a wonderful tool. You can fit anything into tarot, right? Tarot reflects life. It's so amazing. What did you write, Rachel? The Inanna, yes. Oh, you're working with her. I think it's such a, you know, boof, and then you bringing little bits of your power back. And that's when you arrive on top, empowered, again, reconnected with your own power. Why can't you feel your toes? I'm not sure, to be honest. Maybe it's solar flares. I'm not sure. There's a lot of stuff happening. So let's try. Let's try and do the transition from the moon to the sun, especially during this menopausal thing. Okay. So when we under the moon, it's like such a weird like when we under the moon, we often reflect the world back because the moon reflects the light of the sun, right? So think about it as you like if you're a woman and if you especially like you know compromise so much of your time or compromise you gave it so with love often as well, but like there is always a bit of compromise of your time for your family, for your children, for the work that we love to do, etc. So women often reflect the world and we respond, we care, we nurture. We move with the cycles of other people's needs as well. And during menopause, these roles slowly dissolve. We becoming the little crustacean that is slowly kind of coming into the world that doesn't expect us to be this, that, and that. And we have to find our way into who we are again, So we stop reflecting the light of others, of the sun, and we start generating the light. We become the light. And I love how this is only possible to become the light if we go through this dodgy road, vulnerable at night, like a crustacean into the mountains, into the pilgrimage into our own selves. So we progress into the sun by becoming the sun and starting generating our own life. And it's interesting that this is the nut giving birth to the sun. This is the whole story of Mother Mary and birthing the sun. We birthing ourselves, we birthing our new identity, we birthing ourselves back to life from the descent of Inanna, right? So we're becoming from the pilgrims into the self-radiant women. And then also there is something about the moon initiating us through trusting the process, because it's bloody scary, right? To go there, you have to have courage. And you can go through menopause and don't even notice. I know that a lot of my friends are a bit I didn't feel anything. But then when you start asking questions, people do feel things. We're just not used to expressing them, connecting the dots. And I think part of my life mission right now, right now, guys, is to connect the dots for some of us who may be busy for very different reasons. Maybe you would love to sit and connect to the symptoms, but you fucking have to go and earn money and care for, people, etc. This is all very valid, but I think it's very important that, we have trust of moving through this process, because it's an organic process. It's not something men-made, women-made, invented. It just is. We will go through it, some better than others, some quickly, but we will have to move. We have to move through this. So trusting the process, trusting the darkness, that's difficult. In our society, we don't want to trust the darkness. Darkness is chaos. Darkness is unknown. Darkness is dangerous. But in the darkness, we kind of can connect to the mystery a little bit more. We can connect to our intuition. We can be silent. Even if we can't sleep at night, observing yourself, feeling what's going on. It's a night vision. And it's important to release old identities so that we can re-emerge. And then the sun becomes this authentic, raw, vital self that's devoid of the old layer of the old expectations, what the reality expected of us. And it's we feel renewed, we feel rebirthed, even though we get older. I feel we feel empowered. We're back in our skin. We're a little bit like new species, really. And in another deck of Jessica Zinchuk, this is the inner journey for the moon. And it's this forever going spiral. And then this is the orgasmic light with the sun. So, here we're going with the spiral down, and then we're going with the spiral up. Do you guys resonate with this? How do you feel about this? I hope it's not too... I don't know how many menopausal people are in the chat, probably just 3. But that's okay. I hope this finds anybody who needs this right now. And as I mentioned, Jessica Zinchuk story for the moon, with also the wise owl, and then rebirth for the sun, when you are being unraveled, but you also the one unraveling yourself. And I love this kind of transition of like the shifting of the story and moving into the rebirth and illumination and more vitality. And for this, we do need courage. I love the strength card here as well. Courage of shifting, of change. Reclamation of the empowered vision as well. So here I wrote also that our bodies are rediscovering playfulness. So when we in this sun stage, there's so much more vitality. We kind of like a fulfill the cycle. We're born again. And this is maybe postmenopausal at some point. I think I want to look at it a little bit differently, because from our Crohn's group, women who are postmenopausal right now, they shared that it's not like it's ending. It's still cycling, but it's not as extreme, and it's a little bit much more empowered. Menopause gets treated as an ending, but it's just this. Yeah, exactly. And that's so right, Rachel. And I want to see it also as like these moments, like there's moment of this and moment of this, but we will definitely have a little bit different perspective once we go through it. And I feel like the sun card can become this like reclamation for women of empowered vision, of our bodies again, of rediscovering new ways of being playful and like crazy old woman in some way, like joyous old woman. Clarissa Pinkola Estes had these recordings, joyous old woman. They're pretty cool. And, we can live a little bit more without apologizing, unapologetically authentic. And that's the woman I want to become, that's the woman I am. And I want to empower myself to be that woman for younger people later after me, even though I don't have children, but I want to be this guiding post as well. And, there is this like promise of the sparkle in the eye, despite the fucking aging, despite our bodies decaying, etc. There is process of menopause. It's not so easy, but I think there is this sense of rebirth when we go through it. And then again, it will be maybe cyclical, but in a different volume. And then also I feel like we are moving from this lunar crone when we go through the menopause to the solar crone. So we're reconnecting with this radiant wisdom. Our inner child maybe feels more, accepted, joyous. We give less fucks. And, we can develop crazy humor, ability to home reflection and realizations and do nothing with it if we don't want to. So moon kind of initiates us into transformation and shedding and facing the unconscious stuff. When we go through menopause, we often can't pretend anymore to put different things under the carpet. We kind of have everything in our face. And then the sun often symbolizes rebirth, renewal, humor, self-acceptance, illumination, being the guiding light for other younger women as well. So I think these two cards, it's a cool progression with the luminaries, from the moon to the sun, and then back in, from the sun to the moon. What Rachel says, I love that you're going in depth about menopause and creating a space for women to come together. Thank you, Rachel. I actually, seriously, this is the first time I offered this Crohn's Compass. We're meeting for the third time this Sunday. So we met twice, and I have to say it's quite enlightening. I didn't even know what to expect. It's the first time I've done it. But I know for sure that women thrive in community, and women thrive when they can share about this, because often I feel, even in my own lives, I don't know if you guys feel like this, but I don't want to bother my friends who either are not there or were there and kind of, go on about my symptoms, or I fucking feel tired, or I wake up crying, or I'm doing this and that. And during those spaces, it's really quite amazing that you have this freedom to just offload. And I'm not saying we meet there to just like complain, but we can, if we want to, can do anything we want. But because tarot is so amazing as well, we kind of mix and weave. And I really love that tarot becomes this universal connecting language for all our experiences. I really love that. It took me ages to realize that I was afraid to channel my sun energy abusing. Yes, exactly. We kind of always on this like split, sun masculine, moon feminine. Like, no, no, I don't agree. So I think in some way we kind of balancing, reclaiming, bringing it into a different flow, you know? And as I said, I love that idea that we stop reflecting and we generating life and light when we older, and generating life in a different way, not giving birth, giving children, etc. But we can be guides, we can be teachers, we can share our expertise, we have experience of moving through the night. That's like amazing, amazing. Younger people don't have that. Not some do, you know, not everybody. Of course, I'm not generalizing because a lot of younger people have had horrible experiences, etc. But in general, I feel like we are arriving at this empowered feminine through the night. So let me know how you resonate with, I mean, I know how you guys do, and thank you so much for being here and sharing with me, because that was awesome to have you in the chat and not just feel like I'm talking to myself. But I appreciate the insights as well, because I think I learned so much from all the women in the Crohn's Compass group, and we have such insights that come up like very voluntarily. Nobody like, you know, prepares stuff ahead of time. So it's really interesting. I do have a couple of essential oils that help me. I love plants and essential oils and like magical stuff, but I share more about it during the group. But to be honest, like I think most of women do that and know that, but like clary sage rescues my life, especially before periods. I don't know, I think around my ovulation, I get a little bit down because maybe I don't have ovulation anymore, I'm not sure. But clary sage really has this ability to bring me back into balance. Sometimes I connect it with just pure lavender. It's a very calming kind of calming blend. Sometimes I add a little bit like of Roman chamomile that smells really good. And vetiver, one of my favorites for this type of kind of grounding, bringing myself back to balance if I feel like hormones take over. Let me know what helps you. I would love to know if you are here now and you have anything that you do when you feel a bit like off, you know, off balance, if something helps. I love rose. It's a very expensive oil. And here again, like a big disclaimer, I'm not, you know, you don't have to get doTERRA or anything. I'm not advertising them. I'm just using them because I love these oils. They're really good quality. But make sure that you use good quality oils, okay? Because otherwise it just doesn't work. It has to be real essential oil, okay? And if you feel a little bit like low on energy or more towards depressive episodes, I highly recommend checking basil essential oil and mix it with tangerine and maybe adding a little bit of bergamot. This is so good because this is quite uplifting, but it's not like jarring. And basil is very stabilizing as well, and it has like really amazing ability to like keep you grounded but also like open you up a little bit more. So try this if you like essential oils, basil with tangerine or basil with lemon or basil with orange, and add a little bit of bergamot for feeling a little bit more, you know, up. Do I want to share anything else? How are you guys going? Do you like essential oils? Is there anything do you use any of those? Or I know that there's a delay, but let me know if you have any super duper ways. I don't have a bath, but I could imagine that bath would be a nice way to chill and relax. But I use aura soma sometimes, flower essences, definitely sound, crystals, anything that kind of my intuition goes, I just go for it and I try. Oh, yes. Yeah, cuddling with pets. Exactly. I so agree. I have a dog. And sometimes when I'm sad and my dog comes over and just wants to cuddle, oh, I know, that's so true. Yeah. And I have to then be really careful with essential oils, like, because pets are very they are very sensitive to oils, so we have to be careful with that. That's right, Rachel. Yeah. Bath sound. Yeah, bath sound is good. It's good. Yeah. I use those chimes, right? So that's and often I do like a chakra balancing work. I use the Tibetan bowls as well, but I love the chimes. I don't have the forks. I think the tuning forks with the different frequencies are really cool too. And I make myself sprays, like, so the one with the basil and tangerine, which I showed you, I just do it as a spray, or you can do it as, little in the oil, like base oil, put a few drops, and you have to dilute basil, so just be careful. Few drops of basil oil and tangerine, right, into the base oil. And yesterday, because I couldn't sleep, which we established, like you guys as well. Oh, it sounded good. That's good, because through the microphone you never know. But I made myself yesterday spray with lavender, with clary sage, with Roman chamomile, with melissa oil, and with vetiver, and it smells so good. Oh, this one is really, like, it came out amazing, and I didn't even expect it. I just went like intuitively and, oh, calm me down now. Nothing really helped, but I think at some point, when I fell asleep, I had a good sleep though. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Especially thank you to Rachel and Kristen, and who is this? Is Leia? Oh, what's your name? What's your name? Becky was here as well. Thank you guys for having a chat with me. I appreciate. And oh, before I go, also the where is the full heading in 2026? It's also on my website right now. So I don't know if any of you had a reading with me ever, but this reading is a best-selling, super duper cool reading. It's a preparation for 2026. So I usually, if you pick the version with astrological cycles, you get your personal cycles for the next year. And I use Tarot de Marseille, where I pick the Fool and see what card he is moving into and what is he leaving behind. And I do the whole reading based on that. And it works amazing. I've got clients coming back for years for this reading. It only appears at this transitional period. So from now till end of January, you can purchase this reading. And yeah, read the reviews on my website. I'm going to link it below, but thank you so much. Oh, Natasha in Korean. Okay, cool. Nice to meet you, Natasha. So I speak to you soon, guys. I said everything I had to say. And I will come up again. Maybe I will make it at some point. I'm always saying it. Maybe I will make it a regular occurrence, but it's me, so it's very hard to be me and be like persistent on the day, because sometimes I just don't have bloody mood to go on live on YouTube. It's like, yeah, I'm the moon. Sometimes I can do it, sometimes I can't. Yeah, see you next time. Bye, guys. And Natasha, go to sleep. See you. Thank you for watching. Bye.